zeroed. So these are my classic old 243 Winchester loads, and they're really, really good shooting loads. I was just within a 0.1 of a mil, zeroing at 100 yards, keeping it within 0.1 of a mil where I was aiming, just on this tripod right here. On this chassis, this is an Outlier chassis, okay? And these are 105 grain AMAXs. Now they don't make those anymore because they have some new technology where the tips on the old style ballistic tip projectiles they discovered were actually melting in flight, because a bullet, even for the split second, you know, in between your muzzle and a 100-yard target, heats up pretty quick. And at long range, that heat is there long enough to actually deform the tip, the plastic tips. And so the BC would change a little bit from its short and mid-range ballistic coefficient to its long-range ballistic coefficient. And that was throwing off the ballistics just a tiny bit. Now, I will attest that these AMAXs, and I got enough for a lifetime, that these AMAXs fly really, really, really well at long range. And the ballistic math was close enough to where there's only a minor tweak made, but it depends on your methodology of coming up with your ballistic math. I think where that became more popular is with the advent of ballistic computers, because basically your drag models are set up not to have a changing BC so much. Some of them are banded, right? But that came out later, after these bullets were really popular, most long-range shooters. All that stuff being said, these things fly amazingly well out to their max range. I've shot these loads in this 243, believe it or not, you can believe it if you want to, out to 1,400 yards. We shot a bunch of those. That was before the video series and all that, when we started doing that. But these shoot really well. These have been loaded a number of times. Okay, so these are older loads here, 51908, and I don't know how many loads are on these ones. Some of these are actually mixed brass, even like Winchester and Remington and Federal, and with the proper methodologies, these are amazing shooters still. And there's my load. These are PMC cases, not premium components, but through tedious inspection and brass work, I, learned how to utilize whatever I had, even if it was mixed, because you can make little tiny lots and figure out how they work and have very good notes. But gosh darn, these things fly good. So the best shooting I've ever done at long range was with these loads right here. Very, very good. I wish they still made those projectiles. They don't anymore. The new ones are just as good, effectively, but I miss the old AMAX. I got a lot of them. And anytime I see them at an old gun store that ain't sold them yet, we'll grab them. This is a Helix 6 barrel on this rifle. It's a 243 Remington 700. Of course, it's been blueprinted and trued and all that kind of stuff. The Helix 6, the carbon fiber barrel, got the Acadian armament on the end there, suppressor. Works very well, very lightweight, very simple design. We are testing right now the EP-5 Gen 2, 7-35 by 56. And we just got it zeroed. It took 3 shots to zero this optic. I did a bore sighting, so we take this Outlier chassis real simply. Just take this out of the way, 2 little screws here, get this butt pad off, look down the bore, center it on the target, adjust everything. I was very close. I was within about 1 mil that first shot, and so after adjusting, I was off by just a tiny bit after that, and the last shot I was within 0.1, and so I adjusted my click, and forgive this, is just raw video here, but the Gen 2 EP-5 7-35, you know, these are under $1,000 with the discount. I have the Rex discount. You just type in code Rex. These are like actually like $500. $500 for 7-35 that works. You want to see through it? Want to see through this thing? Hold on, let's see if I can. Got one set of hands here. All right, let's see if I can. Oh, excuse me. I was gonna get behind here. All right, let's look down. Let's just look through the scope first off, okay? So those are my tree planters. Oh, a little bit of slobber. Okay. Everything's adjusted for 100 yards, so those trees back there are a little blurry. But look at that. It's not terrible, right? I don't think so. Can I zoom in? Well, yeah, I can. I'm filming. I'm on 16 power right now. I have 35 power to go. But pretty nice quality. You got a nice reticle in there. That's a mil scale reticle. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with these Arkens, but the turrets are very, very, very robustly designed, like extremely robust. And the zero stop is so easy to set. You just basically loosen up your retention screw and put this pin down until it bottoms out on a block that's in there. And that's not going to slip past there. And slipper scales is the 3 screws around there. Very easy design to figure out. Nice parallax illumination. So we got a mil configuration. We got the parallax adjustment right here. Got the illumination with all those features. 34 millimeter main tube. And let's see if I can. It's real hard to get a camera behind the optic at 35 power, but I'm going to try to anyways. Okay. Stand by. Oofta. Just trying to center the camera. Let me back off a little bit. There we are. Too close. Eye relief is a little farther than I thought. Right there. Okay. So that's 35 power. And I do have some stuff in the lenses. But pretty good quality. We'll do the full review. I don't know if we want to look at the trees back there. See the trees out there a little better. I'll come back. 25 power. Pretty exciting stuff, huh, guys? There you go. That's me moving. That's just alignment of the camera is why it's blurring like that. But totally usable. Totally usable. 7-35. And the precision of the adjustments, the reticle, and the mechanical ruggedness of it, I say it's a pretty gosh darn good contender in that price range. I don't know if there's anything like this in that price range that actually works. That's the cool thing about these is they actually work. So if you guys are curious on the full performance, we'll have that, of course. I did do a resolution test on my target board down here earlier. Actually could see with the same resolution as my spotting scope, which is a German Optilith. The same optical resolution on the optical resolution test, according to mil standard 150A anyways. I think the German glass is better in other regards, but if this is the conclusion, this is pretty decent. Likewise, this chassis is cool. Very, very straightforward and simple. Cheek piece is one screw deal. This is, I think, 3D printed. And these things are really, really, really affordable. And plenty ergonomically flexible. Lots of different, huge amount of modularity for a very affordable price. All different sorts of configurations. You got a real heavy back end, different bag riders, different configurations, a lot of adjustment here. You can put AR grip here. It actually fit into the action pretty nice. It just didn't have to do anything weird. All the screws fit perfectly. So there's the screw that came with the chassis. A lot of times you have to modify stuff. We have this is mounted to a Arca Swiss rail, like your camera deal, right? So I got it on this tripod here. And you can put lights and rails on it. It's an M-lock design, so pretty gosh darn flexible system. I thought I'd share that with you because I was getting nostalgic about these old loads. And normally I would use these in my Ruger, but these loads do excellent in this rifle too. I mean, they're on a pinky nail at 100 yards if you do your part. If you got a good, nice, steady rest, they're as small as your pinky nail, 5-shot groups. Pretty darn good, okay? So we will now take this out and try to get her to work at 1,000 Rex out. Are you sick and tired of worrying about those space aliens sneaking around in your cornfields or those Chinese Terminator flesh-eating robots coming in over the horizon? If so, join us in the RX Classroom exclusively on Patreon, where you can learn how to deal with these problems and much, much more, where you can trust the science, where facts are still facts and feelings are put into a bag. If you enjoy this, then join us. If you do not want to do science, then join a lower tier and enjoy what we got to say. It's all a good time on the TiborasaurusRex Patreon channel. Throw a couple quarters in the can.